welcome back to my channel. So today I don't have a plan, I don't have a script, and like the title says, I'm just gonna do makeup and yap. I have some big thought about turning 30 this year, and I was trying to journal and it wasn't working, so I'm like, you know what, let me just turn on my camera and yap. Maybe somebody in the comments can relate to what I'm saying, someone who's watching can relate to what I'm saying. So that's what we're gonna do today. So if you want to just hear me yap, if you just want something to play in the background, if you want to see me figure out what I'm gonna do for this makeup look today, you can just keep on watching. As you can see, I changed my orientation, and that's because I had one of my windows behind me in my original orientation, and because of that my background was really blown out and it made the lighting really off, so my white balance would be going all over the place. So one minute I'd look incandescent, the next I'd look like I was under a cloud. So I'm like, you know what, I need to change up my room anyway, so I just switch it up. So I've brought you guys in a little bit closer, and I have done my eyebrows off camera. I use the ABH dip brow pomade in chocolate. I'm gonna use my ABH eye primer. I'm gonna put a little bit on my palette and take a little bit of that and just spread it all over my eye. I'm also being pretty cautious because I did irritate my eyes a couple days ago, and I'm not trying to make things worse. I'm gonna use the Pro Pigment palette volume 1. I want this purple and this pink. Ooh, I would have cried if that fell. I would have cried. Oh my god. I'm gonna go in with a Kala brush. I don't remember which brush this is, but it's just a little blending brush, and I'm gonna start packing that purple into my crease. So I'm turning 30 this year, and I don't know if I would call it big feelings because I truly don't know how I feel about it. I'm just feathering this out into a wing. Before COVID, I think I would have been a lot more scared, and I don't think scared is the right word, because I think almost well, maybe, because I think everybody's afraid of getting older, but I don't think I'm scared per se. It's more like a little bit of apprehension, because I don't even remember turning 20. I turned 20 in college, so it's like 10 years just went by so fast. I can divide my feelings into pre-COVID and post-COVID. Because before COVID, I was just getting my life together. I got a decent job after college. I had my own place. My best friend lived next door. I was making plans to travel and see the world. I'm gonna go in with the pink shade now to blend out this purple and to exaggerate this wing. I had so many things going for me, and then COVID happened lockdown started like 1 month before my birthday, and I was just like, okay, yeah, I'd heard of COVID by that point, but I didn't think it was like anything serious at that point, because I mean, I was a young adult and whenever I watch news and all of them things, I never pay attention to anything. I would always hear about all of these sicknesses and things and diseases, and it never really touched us. So I wasn't really paying attention. Boy, was I wrong not to pay attention. So lockdown happened, and I felt that, oh, maybe it's like a 2 weeks and we'll go back to work or whatever. But then it wasn't 2 weeks. It just kept going. It just kept going. So my birthday came and went, and then another birthday came and went, and then another birthday came and went, and I think I went through like 3 birthdays in lockdown, and it's like my brain just completely cut out those years. I can't even remember which birthdays I went through. I know I went through my 25th birthday in one of them, so it's either 24, 25, 26 or 25, 26, 27, I don't remember. But I went from having my own place, living next door to my best friend and all of that, to being at home, being furloughed, I didn't lose my job, I had to resign because I had to go to the doctor. And when I realized that if I went to the doctor I wouldn't be able to buy food, I was like, I can't survive like this, because I got a giant pay cut when lockdowns happened, because we were a very face-to-face company. We did a lot of fitness sessions for corporate companies, and you can't do face-to-face things when you have a respiratory illness that is spread by close contact. So a lot of that revenue was lost because nobody's gonna be paying for something that they're not using. So that went down the drain. I think when I use a little bit of black just to get this a little tops darker, so I'm gonna go in with the black in this palette, just a little bit out here, just to darken this purple a little bit. I want it to be defined, so I'm not packing, I'm just brushing. Let me see. When I cut this, I think I maybe need to bring up this purple a little bit, because when I cut this, it's gonna go right into the hood of my eye, and then it's gonna look weird. As I was saying, I was furloughed and I tried my best to stay in Kingston, because from I left St. Thomas for Kingston to go to college, I did not come back to St. Thomas to live. I stayed in Kingston. I just moved out of student housing and moved into my own place, and it was like, I don't want to say I'm gonna be very blunt, I felt like I was going back to where I started. I feel like it was a little bit irrational, because it wasn't like it was a choice per se. I didn't have anywhere to go, because the place I was supposed to stay, that fell through. And okay, I think this looks good. I'm gonna cut my crease. I'm gonna use this micellar water, and I have this swish brush from ABH. I'm gonna dip this into the micellar water, tap off the excess, cut this crease with the micellar water. Called mommy and I told mommy what was going on, and mommy's like, so come home and big up my mother, you know, because one thing about my mommy is that dead or alive, me no say nothing happened to me. She's gonna always make sure that we're taken care of. And even though she really couldn't afford to be taken care of me at my big old age of 20 odd with no work and taking care of my little sister, who was by that point going to school, it was like, hey, come home, you're my kid, come home. Nobody not gonna take care of you like me take care of you. So I'm like, you know what, I'm coming home. So I called my uncle and I'm like, hey, come pick me up. And he came and he picked me up, and I came home, me and my cat, Mr. Fireball, may he rest in peace and terrorize cat heaven wherever, whosoever he's terrorizing. And I sat at home for a year, and like I said, I went through 3 birthdays in lockdown. Let me see, can I still soup? We still got the soup. It's funny, my hands are steady in this and not in anything else. I can swoop like nothing else, but make me do something else and my hands are so shaky. So I was at home for a year, and at first I tried to make the best of it, because I really didn't think that it was gonna last that long, and I don't think anybody thought that COVID and lockdown and everything and all of that would last that long. And I think it was even more poignant for me because mommy is a healthcare worker. I couldn't go anywhere because of her being constantly exposed. So it wasn't a thing where I was instructed not to go anywhere. It was more of a personal decision, because I knew that, oh, she is being exposed every day, and if she's being exposed, I'm being exposed. So I just decided that, you know what, let me just stay in the house just to keep myself and everybody else safe. I couldn't leave the house. We didn't have a car at the time when COVID just started. We did eventually have to buy the car because again, healthcare worker, the taxis decided that them not bring no nurse, no doctor, nobody will work a hospital. And as much as St. Thomas is a big parish, is one major hospital we have, everybody knows everybody. So it became a thing like, we don't want to do it, no contaminated, or no this, or no that. And we just had to go buy a car. We never have a choice because she had to go to work. She couldn't call in. I'm gonna go into the white shade in the same Pro Pigment Volume 1, and I'm gonna pack that on in here. Why is that so patchy? So let me try a different brush. Okay, there we go. I was just using the wrong brush. So my birthday wasn't a big thing because we never have time for worry about birthday and all of that. Like, we're here suffering, trying not to catch a really deadly disease, and we're being scorned by our neighbors and people because she's a healthcare worker. So we never really have time for worry about birthdays and things. But still, shout out to mommy because she did try her best to celebrate my birthday as best as she could. Would like buy a slice of cake or some ice cream or whatever, and she did try to like cheer me up because I think she recognized that I was depressed, bro. I'm going into the Pro Pigment Volume 2. I'm gonna use this blue shade right here. I need a little brush. Do not have a little brush. Yes, I do. I'm gonna use a little bit of this just to like put right in between that white and that purple. Let me top off the excess. I'm gonna put it over the white so it kind of like feathers out. We didn't have time to be worried about birthdays and all of that, and although mommy tried her best, I was in a deep depression. I go from like being an independent young adult to being fully dependent on my mommy again. Although she had no problems, I knew that we were struggling. We were struggling because it's not like say public sector pay much, and to have a kid in college and have another kid that's literally just sitting at home, not doing anything, not contributing to the bills, using light, using water, eating food, it adds up. So it became a thing where I tried so many things to take the burden off of her. I started like selling lip glosses and that did well for a while, but remember I was paying student loans, and when I lost my job I went into arrears, like deep into arrears, and a really terrible time to be out of a job, but I made the best that I could of it, and eventually a year later I got another job. It wasn't ideal, I'm just gonna say that, but it did allow me to help mom with the bills and whatnot. That job, I lasted 6 months in that job because it was a contract job. I remember when the contract was coming to an end, I kept asking, what's the plan? Is my contract going to be renewed? Do I need to find a new job? What's going on, guys? I'm gonna just use this to just carve out my wing. I was asking almost every week, asking my director, asking everybody, like, what am I supposed to do? I need to know if I need to start looking for jobs. And I never really stopped looking for a job, but I wanted to know if at the end of this contract am I going to be out of a job, because nobody knows nothing to me. I had a rule where I didn't take temporary jobs. Oftentimes they'll say that, oh, at the end you might get another position, another permanent position, but that might is not a guarantee, because what happens when oftentimes you have to move back to Kingston for these jobs, you have to get an apartment in Kingston or whatever and root up your life, and then time to center myself, I have the highway. So it would have been either I was traveling every day, I would have been up by 3 o'clock to get to Kingston by 9 o'clock, because the office of the Prime Minister had called me for a similar position, and they were like, oh yeah, it's a temporary position while somebody's on vacation. So I wouldn't have any time to sleep, I wouldn't have any time to rest, and then the fare I would have to pay would not justify that job. I told them, I'm so sorry, I can't take this job. Financially it doesn't make any sense for me, and they were pretty accepting and whatever. But then a week before my contract ended, this company called, one of my dream company called, and they're like, hey, we want to interview you for a 6-month contract for a temporary position. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, because at the end of the day I had just turned down Office of the Prime Minister. I didn't even do the interview with Office of the Prime Minister for their position. And I called mommy as usual, and I told her what was happening, and she said to go ahead and just do the interview and see what can happen. Listen, thank God for mothers. So I told them yes, and they called me back on the Monday, and I did the interview on the Wednesday, I think. And then by the Friday, I got the call that I was successful in my interview and they were going ahead with my contract. So I was like, great. So they're like, oh, when can you come in to sign your contract and pick up your package? And I was like, I can come in on Wednesday. I can come in on the Wednesday, that's next week Wednesday. The contract for the job that I was in ended on the Tuesday. So when I got that call on the Friday and I got the email, I sent my resignation letter. Same time, it wasn't even my resignation, because we didn't know if my thing are gonna be renewed, because I maybe not asked. This Saturday I sent that email, and I'm be like, you know what, guys, thank you for the opportunity, but I'm not gonna renew my contract. I went to Kingston and I picked up my new package. I signed my new contract. And my life just literally changed the second I signed that contract. What did I do with, oh, here it is. When I was in orientation, remember by this point, I didn't know if I was gonna be moving back to Kingston or traveling. And when I was in orientation, the last day of orientation, they told me that my team works fully remote because of COVID. So I'm like, okay, wonderful for me. My manager told me that they were having their potluck the week after and I could meet all of the team there. So I was like, okay, let me come back to Kingston. I met the entire team, and I remember at that potluck I told them, I am not leaving. This is a dream company for me. And they laughed because what else were they supposed to do? But I was dead serious. Like, me na go nowhere. I won't go nowhere. Nowhere, so them would never get rid of me. And so said, so done. When my contract was ending, my manager reached out to me. I didn't have to ask. She reached out to me and she's like, hey, I'm trying to get you a 1-year position so that we can continue with you and then we can revise after that. Then shortly after, I got a call that, hey, we are going to take you on full-time permanently. And I was like, okay, I don't have any complaints. So I went in and I picked up my new package and I signed my new contracts and whatever, because I went from a temporary team member to a permanent team member, and that's the job that I'm still in today. How did I get to talking about job? I was supposed to be talking about turning 30. Anyway, this is the best job I've ever had. Because of this job, I was able to travel like 4 times since I started working with them. I was able to buy furniture. Like, I didn't own furniture. I literally went to Mark Bay and bought a twin mattress, and that was the first piece of furniture that I bought with my own money. And then that was when I was a temp. By the time I became a permanent team member, I was able to fully build out my bedroom. There are a lot of opportunities that this position has afforded me, and I'm eternally grateful for all of them. And I'm gonna move on to my base now. I'm gonna use a Maybelline Master Prime not foundation, primer. In a roundabout way, what I'm trying to say is that not having to worry about money, having like the extra resources, the extra disposable income to be able to do things that I want to do without worrying about, oh, how am I going to pay my bills, have really made a big difference in how I view my birthday. Because everybody has ideas of where they should be by a certain age. I think we're all conditioned to feel like, oh, by the time I get to 30 or 20 or 25, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And before COVID, I was very much a victim of that. I was like, oh, I should be here, I should be here. Oh, my friends are here, why am I not doing this? When I often forgot, I'm gonna color correct with ABH Pro Conceal in orange. I think we often forget that everybody has different journeys. We start out from different places. We don't have the same resources. We don't have the same support. And COVID really like brought me back to earth, where I was at home doing nothing. I was more worried about, oh, my mommy getting sick, me getting sick. I think I'm gonna go in with the Pro Conceal in Beautiful Bronze, just over where I put that orange. I've heard a lot of people say that being in your 30s is like being in your 20s but with money. I don't want to go through my 20s again. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless in 370. I'm not worried about turning 30 at all. COVID really put it into perspective. A lot of people my age at that time didn't even make it to 30. I'm grateful to be able to age. What if I don't make it to 80 or to 90 and I'm here scared of 30? Like, what if I don't make it to even 50? What if I don't make it to 31? So it's like, I can't be scared when I don't know what's gonna happen today, tomorrow, or whenever. I cannot eat dinner tonight and sure, come on, bro. I'm just like not sure what are my plans for my, because I mean, I'm turning 30, I need to do something to celebrate, but I'm not a birthday dinner type of person. I've never been a birthday dinner type of person. For my birthday a couple years ago, we went roller skating. Do I know how to roller skate? No. Does my family know how to roller skate? No. But we did it, and we spent most of the time at the roller skating rink on the ground. We were so in pain the next day, but I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in Hazelnut under my eye, on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and here. It's driving me crazy because my birthday is coming up pretty soon. It's in a couple months, and the way, oh, obviously January had 6 weeks, but the way how the rest of the year is going, like how last year just fly by, I'm like, I need to make a plan right now of what I'm gonna be doing, because I want to spend my birthday with my friends and my family, and it's just like, it's just a matter of figuring out what on earth I'm going to do. I need to buy back this concealer. Do you see how easy that blended a while ago? And I just stopped to take a call, so can you imagine how long this was sitting on my face? Well, I don't know. I need to figure it out. I'm gonna go in with the cool. I broke this. What the hell? When did this happen? I'm gonna go in with Cool Brown from ABH, and I'm gonna use that to sculpt out my cheekbones. I was thinking about having like a sports day type thing, like a family, friends, sports day, fun day type thing. And when it comes to like hosting something like that, it's not as easy as it looks, because especially when it's your event, you're more focused on ensuring that everybody is having a good time, if the logistics are running properly. I'm going in with Chestnut from ABH. I'm going over the edges of that Cool Brown. You don't really get to enjoy your own day, and I know mommy is gonna like take it over just to make sure that I get to have a good time, and that's my entire thing. I want to spend it with everybody having fun and things. I know that there's some companies that do like these picnic things. I'm gonna use Kim Cheeky Lip and Cheek Stick. This is in the shade Bitten number 5. Ooh, blend it up. I like to have my blush a little bit up onto my temple nape. That's a nape temple. I think this is my nape. I think this is my temple. Okay, this is my temple. I'm not gonna look it up. I'm just gonna say it is, and we're not gonna talk about it. But yeah, I don't know. I know there's some companies that does the entire thing for you, and maybe I'm gonna have to just check it out, where I just pay one money and them just sort out everything for me, where I don't have to worry about. They just set up, sort out the food, sort out the decoration, and I don't have to do anything, because that's my thing. I don't want to do anything. Me figure it out. I will figure it out. I always figure it out. I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild finishing powder under my eye to set my, I can never open this thing, to set my, we call it there, my concealer. But first I'm gonna go back in with my brush just to take out any creases. Let me put on the magnifying part of my, I'm gonna use a powder puff, tap it into this, tap off the excess. I always do that, tap off the excess, and then I'm gonna just press it into where I put that concealer, and just practically anywhere that I applied this concealer, and here. This looks good. I'm gonna go into the Black Radiance True Complexion contour palette. This is the powder one. I'm gonna use the contour and bronzer shades to set the cream bronzer that I use. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the contour shade, tap it off, and put it in. Spare. I'm using this very sparingly because it's very dark. It's a very dark shade, and I am not trying to look crazy. Alright, let me go in with the bronzer, and then I'm gonna go in with this orange blush named it's called Fascinated from Sephora. I haven't used this orange blush in a while, and I know that the blush I put on, the cream blush I put on is pink, but we're not gonna talk about that. I know these are very pigmented, so I was wondering why it wasn't showing up. Then I'm gonna use this banana powder from ABH, same powder puff, and I'm gonna put some on here, tap it off in the cover, then on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna bake with this. I know that not everybody bakes. Again, it's a personal preference, but sometimes you just need to get into the kitchen, bro. And then some here. I'm not gonna do a reverse contour right now. I don't think I need it, but I do need a wipe. I'm gonna go back into the powder contour and I'm gonna contour my nose bridge. I'm gonna use the bronzer shade and this little angled brush, tap off the excess, and I'm just gonna contour here, just from like my brow bone to here. I'm gonna go in with a different brush that's clean and blend this out and just bring this up into my brow bone. Okay. I need to do my under eyes next. I'm gonna use the black shade first on my waterline, and this is part of the reason why I bake, because doing this black without that layer of powder under my eye would be crazy, because one thing about black, it gets everywhere. Okay. I need to get back a black liner. Almost all of my eyeliners kind of like dried up because I wasn't using them. I'm gonna go in with the purple shade now and blend out that black. Ooh, that looks nice. And then I'm gonna go in with the pink, if I can find a brush. Oh my gosh, that don't look bad at all. So I'm gonna go in with, where is it? Why can't I find anything? My gosh, fluffy brush. And I'm gonna brush off the excess powder, and I'm gonna kind of drag it all over my face, over the places that I didn't put any powder, just to set everywhere. Alright, I'm gonna go in with brow gel to just set my brows. This is the ABH brow gel. I love this. This looks nice. I'm thinking something that maybe I shouldn't think. I have these electric liners from ABH. I've had them for years now. I'm thinking if I want to like outline this in like pink, like this is what it looks like. It's water activated. I'm gonna do it just because I have nothing better to do and I'm probably making a big mistake, but who cares? All right, so this is water activated, but I'm not gonna be spraying the water in it. I have some water in this. I'm gonna dip it in here. This is probably a bad idea, but I'm just gonna outline that part of my crease that I cut with this. I wasn't crazy. Let me do that again. Just get a brighter line. Like, look at that. That's so cute. I love how great this is going. I'm glad I didn't mess up this eye look, because I would have cried. I would have cruel. The camera isn't doing it justice, but this looks cute, and if I remember correctly, this glows in the dark, but we're not gonna test that right now. But this looks so nice. Do I want to do liner? I think I'm gonna use a little bit of this snowflake loose glitter, just for a little shine. I haven't touched this in so long. Just put it, not doing exactly what I wanted it to do, but it's doing a little something. I should have done this before I did my base, but we're not crying. It doesn't look bad. All right, so let me do mascara. I'm gonna use the ABH volumizing mascara. This really makes my lashes look great, so I'm gonna bring this here and I'm just gonna apply liberally. All right, that's one pass. I need to get some big lashes, because sometimes these looks don't call for a little half lash, and that's all I have. I have some little beanie half lashes. I need some big lashes. I'm trying to make my lashes as big as possible, so I don't need to put on my false lashes. I need a highlighter, and I'm going to use the ABH Icy Loose Pigment. It's literally what the name says. It's very icy. Do you see that? And where the light is hitting, I'm just placing this in my inner corner and bring it all the way down to meet under my under eye right here. Gonna put some on my brow bone, right where my brow arches. And then I'm gonna put some down the bridge of my nose, on my tip of my nose and in my cupid's bow, and then I'm gonna go in with some setting spray, and then I'm gonna do my lips. Now to figure out what lip I'm gonna do. Do I want to go something pink? There is this rule that if you do bold eyes you can't do bold lips, but I never really subscribe to that rule. I'm gonna use this Ruby Kisses brown liner, and then I'll go from there. Alright, so we're gonna go from here. This kind of goes with the purple. This is NYX Butter Gloss in Cranberry Pie. It kind of goes with the purple up here. Or I could do this lip oil from Wet n Wild in Merlot Glass. Has this really big doe foot. It looks like this. This is a bit more sheer, so I think I'm gonna go with this. I think that was a good choice. Okay, I think we're done. I think we're done. So that is the final look. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I think it turned out pretty well given that we didn't have a plan, and sometimes maybe not having a plan works out better, because maybe if I had a plan and I stuck to it and it never turned out good, I would be very irritated. But because I just winged it, literally, because I just winged it, I think this turned out pretty great. I'm really enjoying finding my love of makeup again. If I keep looking down, it's because I'm looking in my mirror, and because I look cute. I look nice. I look nice, like hello, you look nice. Thank you for staying with me. I know this was a very long-winded, all around the place, all around the world, but I got on turn right kind of video because I didn't have anything to say. Well, I had things to say, but I didn't like write it down. And I think I kind of prefer this kind of video where I don't have like a script that I have to stick to, because it puts a lot of pressure on me. If you're interested in travel, beauty vlogs, lifestyle, or just random yapping like what I'm doing now, you can subscribe to my channel, or you can follow me on TikTok or Instagram at the K Nicole, that is KEA Nicole. But thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.